What's good, everybody? It is your boy Cab back with another Xenoverse 2 video for you guys. Hey, we are here to talk about Xenoverse 2 4 years later and what's truly changed within those 4 years of this game. At least the major changes for the most part. And that's what I'm really going to be talking about in this video, because it's kind of crazy when I was thinking about it and kind of writing this stuff down. Xenoverse 2 has honestly had a lot of changes made to the game itself within this 4-year time span. For a game that, again, like I've mentioned before, that is not competitive, to still get updates, to still have major changes and things like that, like we did with the free update and all the past free updates that we've gotten with like DLC, from DLC 7 to 10, I'd say, we got a major update within all those, making major nerfing and balancing to skills and things like that. So overall, the game has truly changed a lot. We've had a lot of balancing done, we've had a bunch of new modes added in, and then the gameplay of the game has evolved to such a level that I honestly did not expect when I first started playing Xenoverse 2. But the first thing I really want to go in depth on is the modes, guys, because we have gotten a decent amount of new modes within this game. Now, are the modes the best in the world? I wouldn't say they are, but they are definitely some nice features to Xenoverse 2 without doubt. Now, the first one that we got added was Hero Colosseum. Hero Colosseum, honestly, it was pretty fun in the beginning. In the early stages, it was a pretty fun mode. But the issue with it, it is a gacha type of mode. With a gacha type of mode, you need constant updates and constant content to be added in bi-weekly at the very least, or maybe even monthly. But that was not the case for Hero Colosseum. Hero Colosseum only got updates when the game would get DLC and free updates. So in the beginning stages of it, it was only getting new figures like once every 3 to 4 months. So that right there is truly what killed the Hero Colosseum, in my opinion. And if it would have continued to drop figures bi-weekly or even monthly, things like that, I really think that the game mode would have been a lot better and would have lasted a lot longer than it did. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still some people that play it till this day, but the simple fact that it was not ran like a proper gacha in terms of content is truly why it died, in my opinion. Like, think of any gacha out there. If Dokkan didn't drop a new unit for over 2-3 months, I'm pretty sure people would be dropping Dokkan at that point in time, because there's nothing new to summon for. All you really got to do is your dailies, and Hero Colosseum didn't even have daily missions or anything like that. So again, Hero Colosseum was pretty cool overall. I just think that they didn't manage it correctly for it to truly shine in the way that it should have. Now, the next mode is Crystal Raid. Crystal Raid was honestly a pretty cool addition to the game, and then they even enhanced it with Double Crystal Raid mode, and I really do like that mode. I think, like I said, again, it is fairly cool being able to be a raid boss and beat down 5 of your homies, or you and your homie be raid bosses together and absolutely demolish everybody. That, without doubt, is definitely a fun mode, in my opinion. Is it one that people will probably spend a bunch of time on? No, and there's a simple reason why. That's because you have to sadly get the demon crystals to be able to actually do the crystal raid, and the demon crystals sadly are not the easiest thing to get in the world. So while the crystal raid is a fun mode, you have to farm something else, which a lot of people don't want to do in order to actually be able to access the crystal raid mode. Now, the next mode that they added in was the photo mode. Photo mode is honestly, it's really cool. I really like the photo mode and the way they did photo mode in Xenoverse 2. To me, it makes thumbnails, for one, a lot easier, and just getting images of characters in certain poses a lot easier. But then, two, on the other side, you can make some really dope looking stuff, and then also you can make some dope looking scenes if you speed up photo mode and how fast you can fast forward it in an editing program like Sony Vegas, Premiere Pro, things along those lines. So you can definitely do a lot with photo mode, and I really like the mode. Overall, it's not one that's like extremely fun or anything gameplay wise, but it's definitely something that's very cool, and a lot of people have put a decent amount of time into photo mode as well. So I definitely did like that addition. And then even the last addition, which necessarily isn't a new mode, but kinda is, I guess you could say, and that's with the online expert mission / parallel quest thing, where you could do expert missions back to back and online and parallel quest back to back as well. Again, that one's not really a new mode, but it is something that is like a new feature slash mode in some kind of way, shape, or form that they did add in, which I honestly do really like because it makes TP metal grinding 10 times easier than it used to be in the past. Not only do you just do the missions back to back to back without a character selection, so time-wise it's way quicker, but also you get more TP medals than you do if you just do a regular single expert mission. So that was definitely a nice addition for the grinding purposes of Xenoverse 2, but those are really all the new modes. Now another little addition, or not a little addition, but addition they made to Xenoverse 2 in general were the customizable partners. Customizable partners were not a game mode change or anything, but it was something that was added that was a major feature in my opinion, and one of my favorites till this day. Like, I love the custom partners, and I hope that we get more in the future, like they hinted at when you go talk to the robot for the first time, talking about how Few plans on making more of these in the future if he wants to. So again, the customizable partners without doubt are probably my favorite feature that has been added to Xenoverse 2 since the game has come out, because there's just so much to offer with them, in my opinion at least. But that's it as far as like new modes and stuff that they've added in, guys. Now I want to talk about the balancing of the game, because this game, it's not nearly the same game it was when it first came out. When it first came out, guys, a one-shot skill, that was like an anomaly. That didn't exist. Now, almost like 20 ultimates in this game can one-shot you. There are super attacks that can one-shot certain characters with certain builds. Blaster Ball being one of them. So the simple fact is that the game, in terms of its balancing with skills, has changed massively. They've changed the game to basically make all attacks do way more damage than they used to, which I like in certain aspects and don't in others, because it is cool seeing your moves do insane damage, and it does change the style of play that a lot of people throw out there, because I have seen people just not finish a combo and do a knockaway midway or something like that instead of finishing the full basic, and use a Time-Sen Time-Sen Kamehameha, or Kaioken Kamehameha, or a move that is just going to get them off a lot of good damage, and their opponent cannot vanish at that point, instead of doing a full-on combo, either getting max damage off of a knockdown, or forcing your opponent into using some stamina. That does not need to be done as much anymore. The simple fact is you can get massive damage from a simple knockaway. So again, those buffs have really changed style of play in Xenoverse 2 in certain ways. Now there have been some nerfs, but there haven't been a lot to the game at all. I feel like they nerfed one or two skills here and there. Like early on, we had the Go-Go Gum nerf, which was absolutely necessary. We had an Aura Slide nerf. Like we don't get the most nerfs in the world, but some moves every now and then will be nerfed. But for the most part, most skills have been buffed to do massive damage, which again, I don't mind on one hand. The only issue I really have with it is it does make matches somewhat quicker in a lot of situations. Like honestly, if these skills didn't do so much damage, matches would take longer without doubt, and it would feel more like old Xeno, but matches definitely are a lot faster due to all these buffs that have been added in. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about in this balancing section, I guess you could say, isn't really a balancing type thing. It's not a buff or a nerf, but they did add in 6-star QQ bangs, which does make the CACs that much better in my opinion. So I guess you could say it is in that balancing category, because it does make the CACs a lot better without doubt. I mean, you got QQ bangs now with no negative effects and like 4 categories with 5 positive effects. That's absolutely insane. You're getting no negatives anymore from QQ bangs, which you had to give up something in the past with the 5-star, 4 stars, things like that, to get your positive gains in certain areas. Again, that is no longer the case. The 6-star QQ is an addition that was recently made and has truly made CACs, in my opinion, like I said, a lot better than they already were. But that's all the stuff I really want to talk about in terms of like the balancing that's been done to this game, guys, through these 4 years. Now, the next thing is the thing I'm most excited for: the gameplay. The gameplay on Xenoverse 2, y'all. It has been taken to such a high level, and it continues to progress. It almost reminds me of a game like Smash Melee when I was younger. Now, I'm not comparing it in terms of greatness or actual gameplay, like they're two totally different games. But when you looked at Smash Melee back then, it was a game that was not looked at competitively at all. It took a lot of underground tournaments and the underground scene to really get it into the tournament I can't think of the word right now, but into the tournament scene, I guess you could say. Xenoverse 2 is similar in that sense that it is not considered competitive at all, and I don't think this game will ever be put into the competitive scene because the fan base itself didn't necessarily build a big tournament underground scene for the game that could eventually blow up to the pro scene. But again, the gameplay itself has changed so much through dedication and just time the community has put in. What you see and what I saw from the tournament recently was literally on another level, and a level I never expected to really see on Xenoverse 2. It made me feel like I was almost watching a true FGC tournament style game. Like the hype, the back and forth, how skilled their movement was. It was just honestly so amazing and so hyped that I could not believe that Xenoverse 2 has come to this point. Like Xenoverse 2 has reached this point of skill, and that's what happens when you have a fan base, like I said, that is dedicated to the game and will continue to push the envelope on the game as well. And that's something that Melee did. All the advanced tech that you see in Melee and things like that, that's not stuff that was known in the game within the first couple years. It's something that became known through them playing, finding new stuff, finding new tech, finding new ways to move, combos, things like that. And that's what's been going on with Xenoverse 2 in my opinion, because from this tournament that I recently held compared to the last one that I did like a year and a half ago, the gameplay was literally on another level, man. So that right there is something that I feel is a major change that's taken place in Xenoverse 2. The game has evolved big time, and the community is the big reason for that. Like the way people move, like I said, the speed, the aggressiveness, everything. I loved the tournament so much, and the fights were just some of the best fights, if not the best fights that I've ever seen on this game. So again, man, the game has truly come far when you really think about it. We've had a lot of new modes added in. We've had a lot of balancing stuff done to the game in terms of buffs, nerfs, and then we got the 6-star QQs. And then gameplay wise, the community has really pushed the envelope and evolved the gameplay to something that, like I said, I never expected to see on Xenoverse 2. And of course, there are other things that have changed with the game. Of course, little minor things here and there. Like, I'm not going to talk about how obviously the game gets new skills, new clothing, all things like that, because in reality, those are changes. But what I wanted to talk about in this video was the actual game itself, the core game, things that have been added, things that have been altered in terms of skills, and then just how the gameplay has truly evolved and been taken to another level. So let me know what you guys think about what I had to say in this video right here about all the new modes, the balancing, the gameplay, and does it make you realize how much this game has truly changed within the 4-year span that it has been out. Again, let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. But as always, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, hope you have a good day. Peace, y'all.